What's up, everybody? My name is Tyler Silva, and welcome to another episode of The Rundown with Silva. And today, my guest is a very good friend of mine. He plays in bands like Reptile Lagoon, Simple Malfunction, and Brian Cooper's Ghost. He's got a new album coming out. Give it for my man Clay over here, buddy.
What's up, y'all?
What's up, dude?
Oh, damn.
How are you, man?
I'm good, man.
Dude.
I'm doing my first podcast. That's
First
great.
podcast?
Yeah.
I'm glad it's mine. Cheers, bud. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you, too. It's been a minute.
Dude, it's been too long. It has been too long.
Yeah, dude.
What you been up to? So, okay. Aside from the music,
Yeah.
like, how have you been, dude? It's been, like, a long time. You put us on a bunch of our first shows and shit. We were playing shows constantly together when we first started, and it's been a minute since we've actually, like, hung out and shit.
Yeah. Well, like, as far as what I've been doing outside of music, just work mostly.
This work, of course. How's the last year for you?
Man.
Yeah.
Where do I start? Fuck. I'm allowed to curse on this, right?
Of course, dude.
Okay.
This is, you're allowed to say whatever the hell you want
I
here.
have a bit of a potty mouth.
Oh,
so
man. Preaching to the choir.
If you got kids at home.
Yeah, no, I actually mark these, especially like YouTube asked you, like, is this for kids? I'm like, no.
They did that to me too. Every time I upload something, I'm like, no.
Yeah, definitely not for children.
No,
for
but
sure.
the last year was a little rough as far as music goes. Like, it's weird thinking about it in the sense that, like, I've been doing music pretty much my whole life. Like, I started playing in bands when I was like 12 years old, and the routine of, like, you know, make it through the week, and then I have a show to look forward to on the weekend, whether I'm going or playing one. When COVID hit, like, it kind of felt like that got ripped away from me. Like, man, I don't really have much to do with my life. This is weird.
Yeah, it was something weird about taking away our purpose, for sure.
Yeah, like, and I was talking to my buddy Zach from Okinawa Plane Crash, and like on my break today, and it was just like, man, there's nothing really I like doing so much like music. Like, there's no other hobby I really have like that or anything. And it was really crippling for a lot of people, and it was sad to see some bands go during that time too.
Yeah, no, it was I think it says a lot if you survived too, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it was really weird to watch bands disappear in the pandemic or break up or disband or whatever you want to call it, but like it was odd to me that I'm like, man, why are you guys disbanding? You know, I mean, I'm sure every band has their issues, but like,
I mean, some bands run out of steam too, or some just, you know, did what they did and called it quits. I mean, I've been there before too, but
yeah, it's a weird thing when you have to call it quits on something, you know. Me and Meatbag had a really cool conversation about that, you know, what it takes to move on to the next step, rather it be in your career or what you want to do with music and things like that.
Yeah,
and
or just anything in life, really.
Oh, of course, you know. But this last year was rough, man. It was crazy. And, you know, just when we thought things were going to get better, you know, we've seen even disaster strike. Like, I know you were really close with Andy, and, you know.
Yeah. Oh, man.
That was
Are
rough.
we going to talk about that for a second?
I mean, I would like to, you know, I would like to address it. You know, Andy Warpigs, well, you know, the first show that, like, Rundown really played, we played with you guys at the Trunk Space.
Yeah.
Remember that? Like, at the original Trunk Space and stuff.
Man, I miss that space so much.
Dude.
There's so many great memories. I love the Trunk Space now, but, like, that old space had, like, this really, like, weird, like, at-home feeling that I couldn't describe. And not that the new one doesn't have that either, but, like, it was just like, I guess it's just a spot of my teenage years that forever is gonna just be stapled into my head.
So you've been at this for a long time. Like, when I met you, you were 16. We were talking about this, you know, and we got to see you do all sorts of fucking recordings and shit like that. And we played shows with you. So the Trunk Space, like, being one of the only all ages venues, like, that's got to hold a deep spot for you, for sure.
Absolutely. Like, when I started playing shows, like, there were very little all ages venues left, really. There was the Firehouse, there was the Trunk Space. The Nile Theater held some all ages shows. I played there a few times.
At, like, the Underground and things like that?
Yeah, that was my first show at an actual venue, was at the Nile Underground, and we played with some of our friends and stuff. And that night, too, is forever burned into my head. I'm sorry if I'm finicky with the headphones.
Go for it.
Yeah, after doing vocals for like 2 days.
Yeah, dude, I don't blame
It's
you at
just
all.
Like, man. But yeah, and then it's kind of heartbreaking too over the years seeing all these venues go too. Like when the Firehouse went, I was like, dude, that broke my heart so badly.
That was a fun one. I got a chance to play there too with Rundown. I mean, I only played there once, but man, what a blast that was.
That was such a cool spot, that outdoorsy kind of feeling and stuff. You could smoke a cigarette on stage. It was awesome.
Yeah, right. And like for downtown Phoenix too, I love the place for the music scene, but there aren't a whole lot of like little punk rock venues and things like that.
Yeah.
You know, it is a different music scene down there for sure.
Well, it's going through a really bad gentrification kind of thing right now too, and it's like sad seeing all these like venues go and in their place these high-end condos, and it's just like, dude, come on.
Yeah,
You're taking away what we live for almost.
it's true, and it's tough because like the demand to live here right now is fucking ridiculous.
It's getting bad. Dude.
Yeah, we were talking about that too, just like,
Yeah.
you know, cost of rent and everything like that. It's fucking wild how much Arizona is just going through this gnarly ass change,
Yeah.
you know, since the pandemic.
It's not the same place that I first moved to, for sure.
Yeah, and you know, it's just, you know, no one really wants to live in California. You know, like
I mean, I went to California recently, and like it was fun to visit, but like I fucking never would want to live
oh no, dude.
No.
Yeah, I lived there for a bit, and I mean, I love to visit, just like you said. You know,
Yeah.
it's a place to visit for
it's
sure.
cool to see the beach and stuff. Like,
Yeah. So the Trunk Space holds, like, how long you been playing at Trunk Space now?
since maybe early 2016. Like, I went to shows there previously and saw some really cool bands. Like, I saw Andy play there one time. That was really cool. But yeah, I started playing there when I was 16, and Seth Norman from Painting Fences.
Shout out.
Yeah,
Love that guy.
Shout out to Painting. I haven't seen any of those dudes in a while. Elliot plays in Painting Fences, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss him too. I haven't seen him in a while.
Shout out Elliot Diggs for like the
Yeah.
100th time on this podcast.
He deserves it. He's awesome.
He's a nut.
Oh, he's my favorite nut.
Yeah.
But yeah, Seth Norman got us a show there, our first show, when I was playing in a hardcore band called Bad Instinct. And it was just the most welcoming place I ever stepped into. Like, I immediately stepped in there and felt like I can just be myself here.
That's where you need to be.
Yeah. And, you know, it was sad to see it go and stuff, but like, it was, you know, the place now is really cool too. Like, it's at a church, and, you know, the same people pretty much still run it. So
Yeah, I had not been there in I haven't been there in some time now, but I've been to the church a few times now, and it's a great place. You know, it's cool to see a lot of like younger people there.
that's my favorite part, is seeing all these young kids get up there and play. Like, if I ever wanted to go see a real interesting band, I always headed down to the Trunk Space, because there was always some like weird group of people playing, and it's usually a knock out of the park. Even if it's music I'm not super into, I appreciate the dedication to it. Like, we hardly doubt anybody's gonna get this, but we're doing it, and that to me means more than like getting together and being like, we're gonna be this genre or this genre. It's like, let's just get together and play.
It's a very unique group of individuals
Yeah.
that play there. It's awesome, you know.
Yeah, like almost every show I've seen there, it's just been some of the most unique group of people ever.
Are there any that like really stand out to you?
One that I'm super into right now, I think they played their first show at the Trunk Space. There's this band called Okinawa Plane Crash I'm super into right now. And
What a dope band name.
dude, I've been kind of buddies with the guitar player Zach for a few years now, and like I remember.
Are they on like Instagram and shit like that?
Yeah, their Instagram handle is at some band from Phoenix, I think.
Some band from Phoenix. Can you
Yeah.
check that out?
Yeah.
He's gonna look it up for us, but okay, go on.
Yeah, but they're super interesting. I've been like, they don't have any like music out there yet, but they have videos on their Instagram of them just jamming at practice and stuff. And I'll like, on my breaks at work, even today on my break at work, I was just going through their Instagram and just, you know, listening to their stuff, their rehearsal tapes and stuff.
Nice. So this is them right here, right?
Oh yeah, they're great. I love them.
They
so
are.
much.
We can't play any audio, but if you want to play any of those videos, Justin, just go for it. You know, that computer should be muted, but okay. Okinawa Plane Crash. What a cool little banner they got back there, too.
Yeah.
So you know some of these guys right here?
I know Zach and Johnny. So Johnny is their bass player, and Johnny is one of the most outstanding bass players I've ever seen in my life. Like,
Really?
yeah, Johnny plays some really like just out there stuff. Like he on his personal Instagram, I can't remember his handle, but like on his personal Instagram, he's always posting covers of stuff he's doing.
Right.
And then I saw him post a Primus cover, and I was like, yo.
Who's this lead singer?
I don't know, but this boy in the background has a flute, and it's fucking fantastic.
Oh, yeah, they're dope. They're so entertaining.
Really?
If I remember that video, I've seen every video on their Instagram like hundreds of times. I think this is the one where they're covering Mask Off, like the Mask Off, motherfucker, Mask Off. He's playing it.
That's what's up. This is some fucking
Oh,
energy
they're great.
right here.
I love
it.
I love them. They're
Thank you,
great.
Justin. Thank you.
Hey, no problem, Bob.
Well, dude, that's dope. So that's one that's been one that sticks out to me the most is I've seen Snailmate there a few times.
I love Snailmate.
Dude, I saw them at a backyard party.
I think we were at the same party.
Yeah, where the cops came and everything.
Yeah, right
dude.
as Black Eagle was setting up.
Oh,
then
yeah.
Which was common for Black Eagle. Like every time Black Eagle was getting ready to set up a show,
Every
cops
time they
would show
headlined,
up.
headlined a show, they
Yeah,
never got
they
to play.
showed up and fucking like, because I roadied for them for a while too, and fucking like, roadied. I helped them move gear, but like, it counts as a roadie, I guess.
Wasn't
We got
Elliot
one of
in
those.
Black Eagle too?
For a little bit, yeah.
A little bit, yeah. He was there for a little bit, and he recorded he recorded their first album, or
Yeah,
he recorded an
in the
album.
Rundown House.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
Rundown House. Yeah, which is where we recorded Bad Instinct with you
Yeah.
as well. Dude, Bad Instinct was a really cool regiment that you had together. I just had to say, like, being introduced to through Bad Instinct,
Yeah.
you know, like, that's how I met you and, like, really got
You
to
got
know
to
you.
meet a real interesting part of my life.
I'm glad I was there. It was fun, man. Like, it was, you know, as much of a journey as it was, and that was an interesting part of my life, like, being in that house, living in a fucking garage. Like,
Yeah.
you remember that shit.
That's the first time I met you. We went back to that house and we hung out in your garage because like we were playing a backyard show and it got shut down by the cops as Black Eagle was setting up.
Yeah, dude, that's right,
Yeah,
man.
And what's so hilarious too is I jumped in our buddy Vince's car. I didn't know whose car it was. I just heard the cops rolled up and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm out. Like cops rolling up, no good. I'm
Good
out.
thing you were 21 back then, though.
Oh, most definitely, absolutely.
But that was fun, man. That was a really, really, really fun time.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was a really interesting period. It was a sad period of my life too. There's just a lot of shit going on.
Oh,
in
bro,
personal life at the time.
Definitely preaching to the choir. I lost everything, which is why I was living in a fucking garage for $200
Yeah,
a
I
month
was
at
listening to
Wyatt's
the
house.
podcast and heard about that, and I was like, dude, I don't know what the fuck I would do. Like,
Oh, dude,
that's so
I didn't know
horrible.
what to do, but I had to do something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you know,
That instinct just kicks in. Like, okay,
yeah,
I
it
gotta
was
figure this out.
fight
now.
to survive for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it was cool though because like when I would come home, you know, there'd be bands like Bad Instinct recording or Black Eagle, or
Yeah.
we'd be recording, or like something constructive was always going on in my life, even though it was like the hardest part of my life.
That's what was so cool about all y'all living there is like when I did go over there, somebody was always working on something, and it was just cool to sit down and talk to people. Like, oh yeah, what are you writing there? He's like, oh, I'm writing. That's like Kyle Wade too. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out fucking Wade. Well, no, never mind. Don't shout out Wade.
no, shout out Wade.
No,
Hey,
he's had enough time in the
he's
life.
had enough time here.
I miss
That
Wade.
man's
I
been on
haven't
3
seen Wade in
episodes now?
forever.
Oh, dude, you'll have to fucking come kick it. He lives
I-
not too far from here. Like,
Oh, dude.
we'll be kicking it more for sure.
Invite me over sometime.
Absolutely.
I'm down to
Well, you
chill.
know where we're at now. You know,
Yeah.
so
I got
fucking
your,
A.
got your fucking address.
That's right.
No, but I haven't seen Wade in forever. I heard he stopped drinking.
He did,
Good for
man.
him.
Yeah, it's cool because like he still does party. Like, you know, he'll get down on like, you know, smoking some joints and
Yeah.
you know, amongst other things. But he's still like really fucking cool to hang out with. I mean, he's my brother. You know,
Yeah.
like we would spend holidays together.
Every time I've hung out with Wade, it's just conversations for hours. He's interesting to talk to. and
Oh yeah,
shit.
he never shuts the fuck
Yeah,
up.
he never such.
Well, that's what me and him have in common, sadly.
It's great because like if there's one thing he loves, it's conversations about himself. He loves them.
What, Wade, a narcissist? Never.
So I just want to walk through like a little bit of I don't know your career, but like I met you through Bad Instinct. You were with this regiment for a while.
2 years about. That was 2 years of my life that I was in that band.
That was a fun time for me.
Yeah, I remember the first time you saw us at the Rhythm Room.
Is that where I got fucked up and puked outside the venue and couldn't see Black Eagle?
I don't. No, we didn't play with Black Eagle. That
Okay,
night.
because
We
that definitely
played
happened
with
to me at the
some,
Rhythm Room too.
We played with some like Christian indie band or something like that. They were cool dudes. It's just music I didn't jive with, but like that's cool. They were cool dudes though. They were really sweet. No, I remember you came up to the front of the stage and watched the whole show, and I looked down after we got done playing. You were all wide-eyed, like, wow.
Dude, I fucking love that shit, man.
And that was the same show you invited us to record with Elliot, and we ended up doing that.
Yeah.
That was late 2015, I think.
That's so crazy to think about now. 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild. And that was such a fun time, like, recording your album. That was super fun.
That was a party almost. Like
the whole thing.
Even though I look back on that album and I'm not, like, particularly proud of it, and it was more or less that we weren't ready like that. But, like, I look back on that time period and I'm like, that was probably the most fun I've had recording a record.
Dude,
Like,
yeah, for sure. And like I think especially with, you know, the like organic fucking nasty ass style that you have, I think that album is like, if you were to be like, hey, this is where, you know, like we kind of kicked off, and someone listened to that album, they'd be like, fuck yeah. Like,
it's better to start from there, go up, than listen to what I did before. Which, thank God, none of that shit's recorded.
Dude, I mean, that was a blast. And like, tell us a little bit about the regiment back then. And we're going to go through your regiments, you know what I mean? Like, who was...
So just the Bad Instinct regiment?
Yeah, we'll start there.
So the band started back in 2014, and it started pretty much after my previous hardcore band had broken up. We were called the Killjoys, and it was me and a bunch of high school friends. Just fucking, we all liked punk rock, so we were just like, let's start a punk band. So that band was me, my buddy Jacob from high school, and then I brought in my poor brother to play drums.
Who's still rocking it.
Who's still like, oh, he's a great drummer. He really, like, listened to that first Bad Instinct record, and then listen to the last Simple Mal record we did. He's got it now.
What's that? So, like, me and my brother, like, when we were growing up, we just beat the fuck out of each other until we were adults.
Oh, we did that too.
Like that's pretty much what we did. But, like...
That's just brother shit.
Yeah, that's definitely brother shit. Like,
one brother's pissing off the other. You gotta...
Yeah, and he's your younger brother.
Yeah, he's about a year younger than me.
A year?
Yeah.
So, like, what was it... How did you go from, like, I couldn't be in a band with my brother. I'll tell you that right now. I love my brother
It's
to
a
death.
fucking chore sometimes, but yeah, I love him.
Yeah. Was it? Did you guys just like start together? Like, was it?
So I did not have a drummer when we started Bad Instinct. I knew nobody. I grew up in Surprise, which is the worst fucking place to start a band, because like nobody really does much out there other than go to school
Or get arrested.
or get arrested. Shout out to all my friends who got arrested, I guess, but like I don't fucking know. But yeah, I asked him to play drums. I was like, we need a drummer. He's like, I don't know how to play. And I was like, we'll fucking teach you. And like, based on the bare minimum I knew about drumming, I was just like, sticks, bass drum, do the thing. And we figured it out. We recorded our first EP like a month after being a band, I think.
Really?
Yeah, it was the worst decision ever, but we did it.
I don't think that's a bad decision at all. I mean, to put something out at all,
Yeah.
especially when you're starting, like, we put out demos as Rundown, and like we thought we were fucking cool, and we felt better about it. And then like we listened to our demos, like, all right, we're gonna do better now, you know?
Yeah.
Because it gets out to everybody else. Because if you keep that to yourself for so long,
That's what I like about doing demos. Like, I love recording like demos because it gives you kind of that reflective period where you listen to it and it was like, okay.
do you put out demos? Like, is that something you like to do?
I do. Whenever we record demos, I put them on my personal YouTube channel and I just pass them out to my friends. Like, I'll send the links to my friends. Like, hey, we're working on this. What do you think?
And what does a demo like look like to you? Like, is it like a phone recording? Is it like you guys like doing some rough tracking?
It depends on what we're in the mood for. Like the last demo we did before this last Simple Mal record we did, we went to Jeremy in Cosmic Soup. Shout out to Jeremy, by the way. He's one of the coolest people I
Episode
know.
1, baby.
Yeah, episode 1.
Oh, and then, so you guys were just here the other day.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
And Colby. Do not forget Colby.
Oh, I love Colby. That's one of my favorite dogs.
Dude, I fucking love what he's got going on here.
I love that studio
Like,
so much.
I cannot believe like what he's doing there right now. It's so good, dude. I mean, taking an old AM radio station and like turning it into
a recording studio.
and like
That's
not only
so
that,
cool.
like the Cosmic Soup recording studio. There's definitely definitely a vibe you get when you go in there. Like, first of all, like, this is professional. Second of all, it still feels like home. You know what I mean?
Like, it's just recording with Jeremy. Me and Jeremy have worked together for so long now that, like, we just kind of, when I go in to record with, I've been recording with Jeremy since I was 16, around the same time.
No shit.
Yeah, I recorded with Jeremy when he was still running it out of his mom's garage.
I had just met Jeremy there.
Yeah.
That's when I was introduced to, I mean, I had met Contradiction and Squared, like, recently, and I went to a show, and they're like, you know, we're going to go back to, you know, Cosmic Soup, and I went there and hung out with Jeremy and Billy and Meatbag and Gio, like, all in the garage.
The crew.
Yeah, I got to listen to, I always want to say Mexican Fishing Tricks, but it's not. It's, God, I cannot.
Lead Balloon?
Yes, it's, yeah, they were recording the Lead Balloon at the time, so I got to get a sneak peek of the Lead Balloon. I just got to kick it with these guys, and it's so crazy to think, like, now it's 2021, and I'm in a band with these people. Like, I am constantly over at Cosmic Soup right now, it feels like. My homie Guyver has his own fucking room over at Cosmic Soup, too.
Yeah.
Like,
it's definitely, like, just a fortress for that crew.
Oh,
it's
my
just
gosh,
like, this
dude.
is the headquarters.
I know.
What are we doing?
And, like, you know, a dream of mine one day is, you know, if things go right, like, I want to move the podcast there. Like, that'd be awesome.
Super cool.
Yeah, it'd be cool. You know, and everything's got to fall into play and whatever one day, you know.
Yeah.
Money's a thing, and, you know, it sounds crazy, but I'm not rich off this podcast. I know this sounds insane, but
Would have fooled my ass.
yeah. But
I like the podcast, man. I like what you're doing.
thank you, man. I when the pandemic happened, and I say this all the time, especially on this podcast, but when the pandemic happened, I was afraid of not playing shows, but I was really afraid of not having the parking lot conversations with the other bands.
Social interaction, just
Oh
in
my
general.
gosh.
That's what fucked me up, kind of, was just the social. Like, I'm such a social butterfly. I have to be hanging out with somebody all the time. Like, I'll even hit people up last minute being like, you doing anything? No. Just fucking kick it.
And you've been like that since I met you, too. Like,
Yeah.
you've always been like...
I wasn't always like that, but, like, since I was... What got me kind of to be such a social butterfly was I took theater in high school.
I took theater in high school as well, but, like, not by choice. Like, I never picked my electives.
Yeah,
I never picked my electives.
Well, they gave me a choice. They were like, here's your electives. I was like, well, I've always wanted to try acting, I guess.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck it.
How's that going for you?
Acting? I've gotten offers before, but nothing ever followed through. Like,
Really?
Yeah.
What do you get offers for? I was totally joking.
There was before Andy passed away, I know Andy wanted to do something with, like, he wanted to make some, like, weird John Waters kind of esque movie, and you know, Andy had talked to me about it, and I was like, dude, I'm fucking down, but nothing ever happened. But and then I got offers to do voiceover work. This dude I met at the Trunk Space, he was like, yeah, I'm making a fucking animated short film. And I was like, do you know anybody who's acting? And I was just like, I took theater in high school. And he's like, do you want to be in it? I was like, fuck yeah. Never heard back.
Always down.
Yeah, I'm always down. You just gotta just wear and win.
So you go through Bad Instinct,
Uh-huh.
and you had your brother, and then...
Quite a few guitar players. Let's talk about Conrad for a second. So
Can we,
Conrad,
please?
Yeah, we can.
Oh
talk
my
about
gosh, can we talk
Conrad.
about the god of guitar players? Like, goodness.
Like, in all honesty, like, Conrad's doing pretty good for himself. I saw he played like some halftime thing at the Suns game with Alice Cooper or some shit.
Dude,
like
what
that.
is his... Okay, Justin, you need to find this fucking kid's Instagram handle, and it should come up on mine.
It's at Conrad Verla Guitarist, I think, if I'm sure.
Yeah, see if you can find that, and then you can unmute the computer for some of these fucking guitar solos, because this is fucking nuts. This kid right
That's
here,
the
bro.
man.
Yeah, unmute the computer if you can, and just pick one of those videos where he's holding a guitar. I guarantee it'll be fucking nuts. Like, this kid is fucking ridiculous.
I think this is.
Oh, you got to go to the bottom right? Yeah, there you go. Oh my gosh.
From you.
It keeps running away.
It's denying you.
It's
hard.
denying you so hard. We'll come back to that. Maybe there's some shit. Does he have a Facebook too? I think he might have.
I think he does.
Yeah, we can see if we can find something on that as well. But
Yeah, but we recruited Conrad.
oh, there he goes.
Wow.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Good Lord.
Turn it down a little bit. old was Conrad when he joined this band?
If I'm short, because I was, let's see, this is late 2015.
Late 2015, so he was like, I think he was 15.
I think he might have been 15, 14, around that age.
Holy fuck.
But I remember because we were looking for a
Go ahead
guitar
and kill that,
player at
Justin.
the time.
And
And
Justin, thank you.
yeah, we were looking for a guitar player at the time because we had so many come in and out. And my mom knew this lady at work, and she's like, oh yeah, well, I know this guy and his son plays guitar. And my mom was like, well, my son's band is looking for a guitar player, just bring him over. And so Conrad comes over with like an amp, a guitar, and you know, we're all setting up, getting ready to jam. It's like, oh, well, here's the fourth guitar player I got to show all the songs to. Like, I'm all like, okay, let's do this. And he hooks up his guitar, just starts shredding some shit. And then I look up and go, dude, you're in the band. Like,
Yeah, well, you're in, dude. He's so fucking
he just
good.
gets up and goes.
Dude, it's ridiculous. His dad is really good too. His dad's a beast.
His dad played bass in Simple Malfunction for a while.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
His whole family is absolutely like,
They're all nice people.
they're
yeah.
super nice people.
They're all nice people. And they always made me feel like part of their family almost too. Like they bought me a bass for, I think it was my birthday one year, and I was like, y'all didn't have to fucking do that. Like, what's wrong with y'all?
Well, dude, my
It's
amp,
too nice.
You guys threw a show. My amp blew on stage, and your dad gave me a fucking amp.
Yeah, my dad was the same person. He was just my dad loved everybody we played shows with. Like,
your dad was the shit, man. You know, like,
Yeah.
I know we didn't get to like talk too much about, and I didn't want to bombard you, but your dad was fucking amazing to the start of.
to quote Elliot Diggs, he was the band dad of band dads.
He was, man. He was the band dad.
He was always investing in whatever the fuck we were doing.
And you know, it was so crazy too. And like, I don't want to hit you too close to home or anything, but
No,
like,
you're all right.
But you know, like, even when he was going through like his health shit, and you know, his amputation.
This crazy bastard still came to shows
with a big ass smile on his face,
with one leg, fucking dialysis patient, rolling up to shows in a wheelchair, and he's fucking with a smile on his face, just watching us play. And I'm like, dude, I fucking hope I'm that kind of father.
I hope I'm that kind of person, like, just in general. You know, we would play all these crazy rinky-dink shows in a fucking like somewhere with barely any light. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no AC.
Basements, houses, anywhere.
Anywhere.
And he would show up.
He would show up, biggest smile on his face, be moving gear, like, be fucking
Moving gear in a fucking wheelchair.
oh my god, dude! Like,
I'm like, dude, just go somewhere. I'll take care of these. No, I'm fine. Fucking.
that's so like, you know, my dad was not around growing up, and I had like a pretty rough stepfather. So like, I would, you know, there's some jealousy there. Like, you know, for what time
I'm very thankful for the dad that I had growing up and stuff. Like, it could have been, you know, some people are not as privileged to have what I had, you know.
yeah. Well, cheers to your dad, buddy.
Oh yeah, cheers to
Fucking
my
A.
old man.
Loved him.
I miss him.
Rest in peace, Mike.
So can I interject real quick?
Please do.
Go for it.
I gotta say, I really appreciate that shirt that you're wearing. It's a good shirt.
My Black Sabbath shirt.
No, the one on top of it. And I really appreciate
the parrots.
I really appreciate how long you've had it.
How do you know? Oh, damn. Oh, there's the Rundown House.
It's the Rundown House. That's the Rundown
Hey,
House. Hell yeah, dude.
Let's go.
And then there's my car with the busted tail light. Fuck yeah.
Damn, save
the
some
whole
pussy for the rest of us. Jesus.
Get the fuck out of here. That was taken on my 21st birthday.
Was it really?
Yeah, my 21st birthday.
How old are you now?
I'm 23.
Damn, dude.
Dude, 106 weeks ago. Come on, do the math, Silva. Fuck.
Does it say that there? Sorry. He does say that right
It
there.
says,
Yeah.
happy 21st birthday to Mr. Frontman.
It does. It does. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I also wear glasses, just like you. But
It's a curse and a blessing.
but man, that house holds a lot of really good memories. Me and Elliot talk about it all the fucking time.
It holds, excuse me. It holds a lot of good memories and like some memories with me, but like I mostly think about the times where like there's two things. There's of course recording there and then hanging out with everybody there that I reminisce on, and then there's also just like the first time that I lived really on my own like that was in that house. And it was a great growing up experience for me to learn how to like pay bills and fucking take care of a house and shit.
If I won the lottery tomorrow, I would buy that house. I'm not even gonna lie.
Can I move in
Did
with
you say
you?
that house was taken care of? Because I wouldn't use those words at all.
Once I figured out what the fuck to do. We took pretty good care of it. Yeah. I can't even say that. Fuck what I said. Never mind. I took good care of the space I lived in. That's all I'm gonna say.
That sounds better.
There we go.
There it is.
Yeah. I can't speak for the rest of the
Every
people I
time
lived
that
with.
I've been to that place, it was like a layer of beer cans across everything.
Empty 40s everywhere.
Oh, dude, it was home.
Yeah. Sure, do we used to
I missed the fucking like liquor bottles all over the fucking like kitchen.
Oh,
and
yeah, in the
shit.
kitchen?
Yeah, on the kitchen, like man.
Dude,
whatever
I
that
wish I
was.
would have been there for the day that like those had to get taken down.
I was so upset. Like I came home and then my roommate took them all down. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? He's like, it looks more presentable that way. I'm like, get the fuck out.
Well, how about a little like,
I like that it kind of looked intimidating almost. Just this like,
dude,
welcome to my fucking.
we fucked up. Like there are bottles there from so many parties that we had to.
Oh my god, we were finding shit in the backyard too. Like, how long has this beer bottle been here?
I remember when Wyatt took a hose to the back patio one time, and like I swear to God, like the crazy ass herd of black widows that just came out of every little nook
Dude,
and
that
cranny of
backyard
that
at
patio.
that house had its own fucking ecosystem.
Oh,
like,
for sure,
oh,
dude.
dude, like we were all, like, okay, all the bugs are gone, but now there's a shitload of birds here. All the birds are gone. I wonder what fucking got the birds.
We'd be taking dabs out there, and we would see like spider nests. Be like, oh shit, just burn it! Like,
Yeah.
just burn it right now with the torch.
Oh man.
So you go through Bad Instinct.
Okay, yeah, let's get.
Yeah, let's circle back. I'm gonna circle back. So you go through Bad Instinct. You got your brother. You got your boy Conrad, and then you disband.
Yeah. So like I mentioned earlier, just some projects run out of. Okay. It's just like I said earlier, some projects just run out of steam and fucking, Bad Instinct was just at a point where we just didn't really feel like doing it really anymore. Like, we talked to Conrad and stuff, and it was like, oh, we're thinking about doing something different. We talked about bringing it back again, like full time, and it just never happened and stuff. So after that, we broke up and stuff. And then
Was that rough? I mean, like I haven't had to go through a breakup of a band yet, so like I always ask about that. I know it's a touchy subject.
If you've been in a band for a long time and then you break up, it's a rough feeling. Like you feel like you broke up with somebody you were in a long ass relationship with. Like it felt like a marriage ended almost.
But
And
was it something that like you could see coming? Like as the weeks went on, you were like, "This isn't as fun," or was it just one day you woke up and was like, "Nah, this is it"?
It was kind of like a downhill slope. Like it's just more and more I hated. Like I didn't hate it, but I was just like more and more I felt like I want to do something else. Like I feel like I need to.
It just got tedious.
A little bit, yeah. And no diss on my band members at all who were in that with me. It was just a me thing. I wanted to do something different. And so that band broke up, and I was kind of bummed out about it. And then John hit me up. Brian Cooper's Ghost, yeah.
Yeah, shout out
he
John
hit me
Casey.
up one day because I posted on Facebook like, I'm so bummed out, my band broke up, and blah, I don't know what to do. And John's like, come the fuck over for practice, we'll jam. And so I did, and me and John hung out with Shauna and TJ, the drummer who was in Brian Cooper's Ghost at the time, and we jammed out and stuff. They let me jam with them, and he kept inviting me back like every week. He's like, you coming over for practice? I was like, I guess. Why not? And then at the Pot of Luck Gold, what was it?
Pot of Gold, yeah.
Pot of Gold showcase. I was hanging out with John and Shauna outside of the venue, and we were like smoking cigarettes and shit. And John asked me, he's like, you're bummed out about Simple Mal breaking up and stuff. I was like, yeah, this and that. And he was like, do you want to join BCG? And I was like, dude, the fuck I ever. Like,
Dude, fuck yeah.
I was like both him and Shauna were like, yeah, dude.
Love that picture. I don't know why I have not seen that picture yet, but fucking A, what a
Every
good
Joe
one.
show gets the best shot sometimes.
He really does. Is that from him?
Yeah, it's Every Show Joe, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is.
I also just love the fact that Johnny has Google Yourself Fools on his fucking guitar.
John's got some of the best guitars I wish I had.
Oh, you mean
his
like all
collection's fucking great.
42 of them?
All of them. If I ever am in the mood for a new guitar, I'll ask him, just like, you want any? You got any you want to sell?
You can go try some. You know what I mean? Like, I'm
Yeah.
thinking about buying one of these. Like, you can go try
He's
this.
offered me a few times, like, yeah, I'm thinking about getting rid of this one. I was like, how much? And he's like, $200 something, $300 something. I was like, I'll hit you up when I got money.
His knowledge of guitars too is like so fucking stupid.
Can we fucking gush over John for a minute here?
Yeah,
Absolutely we can.
absolutely we fucking can.
So, I give John credit about me as like me growing up as a musician too, because before I joined BCG, I didn't know jack shit about tone, about different guitars or anything like that. Like I just like I had that mindset if it makes noise, it makes noise.
Mhm.
Whatever, dude. And John was just like, okay, homie, I'm gonna teach you about some tones.
Yeah.
So he was just like, what do you like? You like more treble in your sound? You're like more, you know, you like bass? Do you like, you know, you like your mids to be high or low? I was like, I don't know. And so he kind of told me, he was like, mess around with your tone. Mess around with your tone. Find what you like. You know, and you know, tone's never perfect either. Like I still mess with my tone to this day, and I've been.
And I think like to write off your coattails just a little bit when it comes to tone. There's a very different play style when me and you are in the studio versus when me and you are on stage.
Oh yeah, like I'm a lot like in the studio. I'm a little more precise. I try to be anyway about what I'm playing. Like I'm a picky bastard in the studio, but playing live, I'm sloppy as fuck. Like,
dude, me and you are just like you play the same way I do. Like we are way too happy to be there.
Yeah, it's a mixture of that and then just like, what am I pissed off about lately? I'm gonna take it out on the stage.
Is that what you do? I am like,
like for what playing is for me, like, and why shows are so important for me, and why like performing is so important for me, is that it's all of like the recent, you know, anger, sadness, whatever I'm feeling at the time, just bam, out when I'm playing.
do you think it's like you're like the worst emotions of you just like coming out? Like, do you think it's like a vent for you?
It is. It's like a venting thing.
Because like everyone's different, you know what I mean? So like for me, it's like this is where all my happy emotions finally come out.
Silva, I don't think I've seen you mad ever.
I don't think I have either.
It's not fun.
No, it isn't fun.
I try
to
not
be
to
mad.
be
It's
there.
like, it's like
No.
okay, so like if we can take a second real quick. I watched you get hit with keys in an abusive relationship, and the next day you were just like, let's get breakfast and hang out. Like I've never
I
seen
wish
you
I was
angry.
that calm about everything.
It's not easy. Like at least like Justin was there to go get breakfast with me and hang out. Because I was like, holy shit, my whole life is about to fucking change. I'm like, starts with breakfast, I guess.
I'm sorry about that.
Who
That's
gives a
rough.
fuck? You know, it
I
was.
give a
No,
fuck,
he's
man.
got
That
a
was
great
upsetting
lady.
to see.
He's got a
Yeah.
great lady now that's so much better. Like
Well, it was the worst, best thing that could have ever happened to me. To be perfectly honest, like that's fucking very, very real. You know, at one point, you know, you have to cut the toxicity, and I don't think I knew when to do it or how to do it or anything.
That's what I've heard from people who are in like relationships.
Yeah.
Like that. It's like I didn't know when the cutoff point was until it just happened.
Yeah, it was, and, you know, like it was really shitty. You know, like
And I went through the same thing too. Go on, by the way.
yeah, I just like I think you and I are like very similar, and like we find a lot of comforts in our friends and the people around us,
Absolutely,
and things
yes.
like that. So like when I like the thing that crushed me the most, like, you know, it wasn't that I got hurt. It was like physically. It was that like, damn, like one of the people that I've been closest to for the past 3 years fucking hates me enough to do this now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crippling, dude.
That's like
it's
what really
absolutely
fucked me up the
crippling.
most, and like that's what took like time. You know what I mean? Like that's what really took time.
I went through a similar thing. I've been in a few like bad relationships, and it sucks, dude. When someone you think cares for you like that just goes off on you like that, dude, it sucks.
And I think that's when like a lot of like, I mean, people have said like, yo, you've always been, you know, so like, you know, there on stage and whatever. But like I think after that, like it took like another notch for me.
Yeah.
And it was like because I don't know, I realized like how happy I was with the things I had, and like what I got right now is like my band and everyone the fuck out here. And I'm like, if
Yeah.
I'm not the happiest person in the world right now, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I'm always thankful for what I have currently. Like, I could always be worse off. Like, that's what I always try to keep in my head whenever I run into, like, a snag in life. Like, dude, I could be worse off. I could be, you know, in a lot of bad positions. But you know what? I got people who care about me. I've got a band to, like, let out all the fucking frustrations I've got. That's all I really need, really.
And you know, I love
And food and water and shit. but,
food
like-
and water is definitely up there for sure. I when it comes to my writing, especially with Rundown, mainly with Rundown, I guess I should say, is like kind of where this goes.
Can we talk about writing processes really quick?
Absolutely.
You can take all the time you want.
I'll just like say the little thing that I have in my writing process, but like I try to take like, you know, really, really fucking hard, sad parts of my life and make them into the most fun songs possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you were to read any of my fucking song, like any Rundown songs, like if
I
you were
like
to read
Rundown
them,
roommates, homie. I'm a fan.
well, if you were to read them, like, you know, like without any tone, context, or anything, like this is not fun. And then like when you hear it, like, oh my god, like this is a really fun song.
I like when bands are able to do that because, like, one band that comes to mind for me is like the Circle Jerks are able to do shit like that.
Yes.
You know, not to sound like that punk dude, but like the Circle Jerks were able to do that. When I read Keith Morris's like autobiography he wrote, the way he was just like, I'm mad about shit, but I want this band to be fun. And I was just like, I kind of like that idea. Like you're getting the frustration and anger out whilst just having fun with people.
Well, when we heard, you know, like when we heard that it was in like historic shit like pirate shanties and all this shit like that, you know, they were singing songs on the ships about how, you know, they miss things or things were like were not that fucking great or like the worst, and like they were just fucking yelling them.
Whenever
and,
you
yeah.
guys play Waiting for the Day live, I'm always just up there just
Oh, that's a
fucking
great one.
clapping along with it and shit.
It's a fun one though, you know, like
It's a very fun song.
but I love like that band for me is like fun. I mean, not that playing in Squared isn't fun. It's a different job, you know.
Yeah.
It's a different job. Like when I'm in Squared, I'm way more a guitar player than I am like a lead
You have
singer
a role.
frontman. Yeah, you know. And I love playing in Squared for that reason because like I get to just be a fucking goof without being tied to a mic. And then like I love being in Rundown because I'm, you know, singing these songs about like how me and my friends have made these songs about the hardest part of our life, and they're not depressing. Like we try to make our songs not depressing, but if like they are about the most depressing parts of our life.
Yeah.
It's
Rotten Teeth.
Broken
Broken
Teeth
Teeth,
and
and Rotten Milk.
That's
Yeah.
my
Like,
favorite Rundown song.
It's a great song, but like when you really sit there and listen to the
so
lyrics,
nasty.
it is such a fucking horrible time. Like,
oh yeah, it was terrible.
I remember when Elliot posted about
Chunky Milk.
Chunky Milk. And I was like, man, that's just a rough time. And then I remember when y'all wrote that song, I was like, I
Yeah.
kind of know what this is about.
Oh yeah, I was living in that fucking garage, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like you could barely afford guitar strings and shit. Like it was a rough time.
Pulling your own tooth out and
It
shit.
was the
I had
best
to
of
do
times. It was the worst of times.
I had to
you
do
know
the
what I mean?
same thing too. When I had to pull a
Oh,
rotten
really?
tooth out of my head. It sucked, but I did it.
Oh my god, yeah, it was terrible. I broke both of my wisdom teeth in half.
Oh, mine
Because they were growing out.
that bad.
Dude, no, they were growing out and like cutting into my cheeks, so I could feel them like pushing my teeth forward and shit like that. And like I
Yeah.
couldn't sleep. Like it was hurting my brain.
Oh, fuck.
That's what it felt like. You know what I mean? So I just fucking grabbed a bottle of whiskey that I had next to my bed and some needle nose pliers that I had found in the garage. And I cleaned them the best I fucking could.
Mine was just a rotten tooth that just wouldn't fuck off. So I just.
Rather than getting insurance, Silva took care of it himself.
Oh, dude, insurance was
the
not.
rundown technique.
Dude, food was barely in the cards for me that back then.
Oh, shit.
That was tough. That's when I was working it because you know where the Rundown House is, and then you know where Tailgaters is in that
Off
town,
of
right?
Rooms and Bell.
Yeah.
I would walk there and back.
That's a workout.
Yeah, it's like a 6 or 7 mile fucking walk. And anyways, I would walk there and back. I would get there at like I don't know 3 or 5 and leave there at like 3 in the morning.
Jesus.
And walk home, and it'd be sometimes like a certain part of the year it'd be too hot to sleep in the garage, so I just crash on the fucking couch.
Yeah.
And then everyone else would be waking up for work. I'm like, I hate my life. And Elliot would come home like, I need to write a song.
What are you doing? Going to bed, motherfucker. Damn.
Yeah, it was tough, man. It was fun, but it was, you know, if I were to be in the same situation with all those people now, things would be way different.
It'd
for
be
sure.
fun,
We'd probably
at
live,
least,
yeah,
yeah.
like we'd be probably living somewhere nice. Like everyone could sleep in an actual bedroom, probably more bathrooms, you know.
Goodbye.
But it was fun as fuck, dude. It was super fucking fun. And I think like, especially you and I, because me and you are pretty fucking similar. I think
I don't pay attention to shit like that.
I do because you and I are like not one to know a stranger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we don't really know a stranger.
I know a few, but I know their names.
So do you really know a fucking stranger? You know what I mean? Like that's the
Bet.
thing about it, you know? And you're passionate about what you fucking do. Like
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's something that I've wanted to do since I was 4 years old. Like, I remember watching, and I'm going to sound like a geek. I watched a Stevie Ray Vaughan concert on TV when I was 4 years old with my dad. And I remember looking at the TV and just being like, I want to do that. That looks fun as fuck. And here I am. Like, it's just weird things like that as a kid just leave a fucking huge impression on you.
when'd you start playing?
My first band I formed when I was 12 years old, and it was like a heavy metal band. I was really into Black Sabbath. I'm still into Black Sabbath, but I was really into Black Sabbath at the time, and I wanted to form a like Sabbathy metal band. And one of my buddies I lived in a trailer park with, he played bass, and he had recently just broke up with his band. So we started a band with one of his buddies, and then some dude we knew in the trailer park who was like twice our age, and he had a drum kit because some dude owed him money. And he was just like, he paid me in this drum set. I was gonna pawn it, but if you guys need a drummer, I was like, sure. But like, yeah, ever since then I've just been at it.
But was that when you first picked it up, or was that just like?
Well, I was a guitar player in that band. I didn't know how to play guitar.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, so that's why we had another
yeah,
guitar
dude.
player, because it at least looked like somebody knew what they were doing. But we only had like 2 rehearsals in the time we were together, and it was mostly just an excuse to get together and get fucking hammered. Like, it was fucking wicked. Did I say 12 years old? I meant 21.
So can we take a second and go back to some shit that we were talking about?
What was that, Justin?
Let's go for it.
I really want to know how you met Johnny.
How I met...
Through me, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, how I met John was... No, that was before the Bad Instinct record. I think I saw you guys open for BCG, or BCG open for you guys.
Well, I had my little spotlight in BCG for a while as well. Cause
I remember that. Holy
Yeah.
shit. So I did see you while you were in BCG.
Yeah,
I can't remember when that was.
I was, well, I'll tell you, it was 8 years ago. I'll tell you that right now.
Fuck.
It was 8 years ago because me and his
23.
son are exactly 21 years and a day apart.
Coal Monster.
Yeah, my man Cole Monster. And
I love that kid.
when
He's
they
cool.
so I met John when I was probably 17 or 18 years old, and like he heard me play and like didn't let me go after that. Like me and John just like he looked after me. He gave me life advice. He really, you know, gave me so much advice that benefited to me being a fucking adult and a musician at the same time.
He has that kind of radar where he notices when people are really about like music and shit, and he'll be like, come fucking jam.
And it's so crazy now.
And
'cause
that was super important to me at the period that, you know, I joined BCG too, because I really like was sad about my band breaking up and shit, and like forever grateful.
he has so much guidance, you know what I mean? Like he's already been through it all, you know what I mean? So like he knows. It's so crazy, but like he knows exactly how we feel when we don't. And I know that sounds like super gnarly, but like it's so true.
Yeah.
You know? And so I've known John forever, and when he bought his house, and Cole Monster was just born, I believe, if not about to be born. But I was rooming in there, you know what I mean? And I stayed there for a while, and every day me and John, you know, John doesn't buy internet, so me and him were just playing one of the 42 guitars that were there, and you know, doing all sorts of music. And you know, he's an amazing songwriter. Like the songs he writes are fucking ridiculous. The substance he has, the stories he can tell, you know, he's crazy. So that's where I really like my mindset was with John. I was like, I need to be able to write stories like John does, and he can write them on the fly.
I am low-key jealous how great he is at just coming up with shit on the fly. I was just like...
Ridiculous.
The first time I heard John rap, too, I was just like, are you fucking kidding me, dude?
I'm sorry, Johnny raps.
There's nothing John can't do. I just want you to know that.
Dude,
like,
no, trust me. I have to sit here every episode and look at that guitar behind your head. I understand that he's talented as fuck.
yeah, dude, it's the way that he has experience, because dude, he did so many things. Like, not only did he rap, but he was a DJ, and he has all these records. Like, he has all these crazy records. He's like, one side is like instrumental, one side is acapella, and this is a Lady Gaga record. I was like, what the fuck? He's like, this instrumental's sick. And like, he would spin shit, you know what I mean? Like, he was always fucking down with these genres of music to an extreme
he is one of the few people who can show me like a band or something or anything, and I'm open to listen to it, because like I have this like thing where like I get like not annoyed, but I don't know what the feeling is, but like when people are just like, oh, you're gonna love this, and listen to it, and I'm just like, it's all right.
There is something like I totally feel that, like there is something.
He got me into
weird.
fucking Amy Winehouse. I would have never listened to Amy Winehouse if it wasn't for John.
He got me into J. Waddy Watson in the Business. Dude, he got me into so much shit. Like the list goes on and on with what John has got.
Hunks and his Punks he got me into. That's still one of my favorite groups. I love Hunks and his Punks. Shannon and the Clams. Like, I'm forever grateful for.
He got me into fucking Gaslight Anthem. Like that.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Like he got me into oh Jesus Christ! Now the name is escaping me. They have the song "Twin Size Mattress." Anyways, he's gotten me into so many fucking things, and like he's even found things. The Front Bottoms. Jesus Christ, that was it. He got me into the Front Bottoms. I heard fucking Justin back there trying to.
I was typing away at it. I was gonna find it.
I'm like, I hear Justin looking for it. I'm like,
I think he showed me the Front Bottoms one time, and I was just.
Their first few records are absolutely fantastic.
That's
Shit went
That's
downhill.
my favorite line from John. Is like, listen to their first two records. Listen to their first two records. And
Great
I'm the kind of
songwriting.
Yeah, and I'm the kind of person where if I discover a band, I always want to know what they started out with.
And you know what? I dude, we went to shows together when I was really young. Like, I was like 17, 18 years old, and like I was going to Flog and Molly shows with him, or just seeing him there. He's like, "What's?" And I would spend the whole show with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he ended up working in the tattoo shop that I was nearly living in for the longest time.
You were sleeping on the bench, Bubba.
Well, there was a bed in the back for me too. But like,
for you.
He ended up tattooing there with my Uncle B, and
Well, see, like that's my thing is like that's how I know Johnny is through fucking Ink Addictions.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you guys are sitting here and like I've always known him as a tattoo artist, and you're like, oh, he's a fucking DJ, like this, that, like that blows my
does
fucking
everything.
mind. Like, goddamn.
He does fucking everything.
he's extremely talented. He's getting good at piano right now, which I got, or excuse me, my girlfriend got me a keyboard. I'm about to start getting good at piano. Fuck you, John. I'm gonna do it.
So when you're not good at guitar, you're not gonna get good at keyboard.
Yeah, I got it.
In due time.
In due time.
In due time.
Okay, so you go through Bad Instinct.
We're back to this.
The one thing you'll learn quickly about talking to me is like I spider off into
Dude,
so many different.
this is
So
what this
does
podcast
Silva.
is about. Yeah, this is what this podcast is about for sure.
Oh man.
But like we go through Bad Instinct, we get to Brian Cooper's Ghost, where we meet Johnny, or excuse me, you meet Johnny, and you're in this for a while, and we could talk about John forever.
Yeah.
And then you go to Simple Mal.
Yeah, Simple Mal came right after that, because after I joined BCG, I was super stoked about playing in the band because I had seen them live a couple times and like really enjoyed their shit and really enjoyed John's energy on stage too. John's a great performer as well.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's a great performer. Great at like stage banter too. Like he fucking makes me laugh my ass off on stage sometimes, and I have to like hide my face and shit because I'm like laughing. Yeah, and then after that came Simple Malfunction, and Simple Malfunction was just kind of like something I just wanted to have a project. I just wanted to have a project to put music out on.
And you're doing this with your brother too.
Yeah, my brother was not included originally in it though. So the origin story of Simple Mal, this was taken a few nights.
Okay, so this was taken a few nights ago. Let's just talk about who's in it now. So there's you, your brother, and then I do not know this fucker right here.
That is Corbin Rutherford of DOS.
DOS? Is that what is that?
If anyone listening to this or watching this likes hardcore punk, check out DOS. They are probably one of my favorite hardcore punk bands.
Really?
Oh, they're great. They're so cool. I saw them at Omeek, John's tattoo place.
Oh yeah, I played there once.
Yeah. On the little stage thing?
Yeah.
I almost slipped and cracked my ass off on that fucking stage.
That was a fun show. That was
it was
also
fun.
some of the early shows for me.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first played there. What if like that was a Halloween show? That was a super fun time.
Yeah, I was
So,
wearing shoes with
what
no
was his
fucking
name again? I'm sorry.
Corbin.
Corbin from DOS.
From DOS. And so like I saw DOS at the fucking tattoo place, and at the time I was kind of like in a period where I was just like, you know, the punk rock thing's getting old for me. I want to do something else. And then I saw like DOS, and I was like, this looks fun. I was like, playing hardcore looks really fun, and it kind of ignited my love for hardcore punk. And I told Corbin this recently too. I was like, seeing you guys play on that stage and shit and having so much fun, like it reignited my love for hardcore. And so like, yeah, they're super cool. They have an EP on Bandcamp called It's a Start. It's on Spotify as well. DOS, Days of Solitude.
Days of Solitude. That's
Solitude.
fucking metal as shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Corbin told me who came up with the name, but I can't remember who it was. But yeah, check out DOS, y'all. They're really great. If you like hardcore punk, heavy recommend it.
Okay. I don't know. Oh yeah. So we're talking about Simple Mal.
Yeah, so a Simple Mal was just a project I just wanted to have, just to have. And it was me and my ex-girlfriend at the time. We wanted to start a band. My ex-girlfriend at the time, my girlfriend at the time, wanted to start a band together. And she wanted to pick up bass, and it's like, well, you know, I'm a little rusty at guitar, so I want to play guitar more, so I'll play guitar and sing. And then we went to a McDonald's one day for whatever reason. And some dude I knew from high school, his name was Juan. He was there. He was working the cash register. He's like, what have you guys been up to lately? We hadn't seen each other in a while. It's like, what have you guys been up to lately? Well, I was like, oh, well, we just started a band. And he's like, you need a drummer?
Fuck yeah.
I was like, yeah, dude, let's get together. And
I know I need a Big Mac, but like, you know what I mean?
Give me that mixed spicy chicken, and then we'll talk about the drumming.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was in the band for a little bit. He was a really nice dude, but he got promoted to like manager or some shit like that, and he couldn't play anymore. So then I brought in Daniel, and I was like, hey, I got this new band.
Was your brother off at the time?
Me and him just kind of, like, I guess the best way I can explain it, me and him just kind of fell out after Bad Instinct, like, you know.
And what is that? I mean, like, I know it's a weird subject, but like when, you know, you're in this band with your brother and then you fall out of that and then, you know, you're moving on to things, but like, is he just chilling? Like, is he still getting better? Are you guys still like jamming a little bit?
You would have to talk to Daniel because I don't know what he was doing with this time, but like, we just, like, the band just kind of started and I didn't really have him in it to begin with, but our drummer left after one jam session, and I was like, I got this new band if you're down. He was like, sure. And so we started rehearsing.
By the way, that sounds like something he would say.
Sure. Man of very few words.
Man of few words, man of many talents.
He's the Doyle of our fucking band.
He's such a sweet guy, though.
He's really nice. So I get him in the band, and then right after Daniel joined the band, my girlfriend dropped out of the band because she was like, oh, I'm not really getting bass, blah, 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 and I don't want, you know, I was like, cool, whatever. So then we asked John. Back to John. Because from what I know, John, oh, yeah, that's our first show, by the way.
2017.
Yeah, that was our first show. It was
wow.
Yeah, it was at a place called The Church.
Oh, dude, we played here.
Or it was called The Only Venue in Peoria, if I'm sure.
Yeah. We definitely played here.
Yeah, you guys played your first show there, didn't you?
I believe so. I believe our first show was there. Man,
God damn,
what a crazy time to think about.
I was so hefty back then. I'm hefty now, but...
God, man. Look at...
That is a man who loves municipal waste, suicidal tendencies, and a lot of chicken tenders.
Where did John make those BCG? He made them on, I think, my Uncle B's sticker maker. I can't remember, but it's so crazy because I remember this time very, very specifically.
Yeah. Well,
for sure.
We were at a BCG practice, and I just asked John, I was like, hey, man, we need a bass player. And he was like, I don't really know how to play bass. I was like, do you want to join anyway? Like, sure.
Which is how he swooped me into everything because I was playing bass in BCG for a while, and and I'm talking about when BCG was like me, John, and my Uncle B in a garage. You know what I mean?
I remember that period. I remember you came over to our buddy Dylan's house one day, and you guys were playing in the backyard. And I think that was the first time I technically saw BCG. It was you, B, and John. And I think Shauna was there too.
Yeah, it was such a different time back
No,
then.
yeah, Shauna was there.
It's so crazy to think about how much like things have changed since then. Like it's wild. But it a lot of it wouldn't have happened without John. And I feel like I never give him enough credit for sure.
I always, like, in my head, John is like the older brother I wish I had growing up.
He's always been that way to me.
He's
too.
like an older brother figure to me too, and I'm like, I love him and I'm grateful for everything he's done.
Absolutely grateful.
So we're talking too much about John.
Well, it's tough not to. I mean,
I
it's tough.
understand. No, I get it. John's great, but
Okay.
to get off of that Simple Malfunction, going through your guys' Instagram, it seems like you've had a lot of like changes to the lineup.
Yeah, so we had trouble keeping a bass player. So John joins the band. John plays the first 2 shows with us, I think. Yeah, it was the first 2 shows. And then John just kind of talked to me one day. He's like, excuse me. John talks to me one day. He's like,
all the time.
he's like, oh, God damn it again. John says to me, I'm really tied up. I got kids, I got work, and I got BCG. And I was like, that's totally fine. I get it. And so we ended up getting Conrad's dad to play bass for us for a while.
Another awesome guy.
Oh, he's a super sweet dude. I love. Shout out to Richard Varello. So Rich didn't necessarily join the band, but we just kind of had him in the band to play shows, and I guess that, yeah, just that was kind of just the atmosphere. He never was like, I'm in the band now, right? He was just like, I'm just helping you guys out, which I'm forever thankful for. Without Richard, we would have fucking sounded worse than we did at the time. Not on Richard's end, but on my end specifically. I was still brand new to guitar. But yeah, after Richard, we were still looking for a permanent bassist, so Rich was just pretty much filling in for shows. And then we get hit up one day by this guy named Zach Harris. Now, Zach Harris is one of my best friends of all time. He's one of the most genuine souls I've ever met in my life. But he hits me up after Johnny from Painting Fences, Johnny Norman.
John Norman.
Yeah.
That guy shreds.
I love Johnny. He's a sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny sent Zach a link to our demo, and Zach listened to it, and he was like, okay. And he hits me up. He's like, I heard you guys need a bass player. And I was like, sure. So he came over, jammed with us, and he was in the band for a little bit. And I was over at his house jamming one day, me, my brother, and him. And he was talking about me and my buddy Michael started this record label, blah, 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 blah. I was like, hold up. I was like, you guys got a record label going on? He's like, yeah, it was just to put out Grindhouse Dropouts and stuff. And then he's like, do you want to be on the label? I was like, I would love to.
Who wouldn't want to be?
Yeah. So I guess shout out to Kerplunk Records. I kind of sort of work for them. I help them scout artists and stuff to sign to the label and whatnot. But yeah, and then Michael who's the CEO, co-CEO, joined the band for a little bit, so we had 2 guitar players for a minute. And then that whole lineup just kind of dissolved after that. And then it was back to me, my brother, and Rich for a while. And we recorded our first record with Jeremy, the Simple Mal LP, which we called it the Simple Mal LP because we wanted to get records made. And then I found out how much records cost to get made, and I was like, I'm not fucking.
Sometimes shit's rough.
Yeah, we were over budget as it was. Also, shout out to my dad once more, because without my father, we would have not been able to finish that first album or the first demo we did either.
Your dad was the fucking shit.
He helped pay for both of those fucking
Dude,
recordings.
One more cheers to your dad. Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
That guy deserves everything.
But yeah, my dad helped us pay for the first record. So we put out the first record in June of 18. So June 2018. And then we went on a hiatus for a while because Daniel went to NAU to go to college. And during that time period, I just exploded musically. I was in different bands constantly at that time. I think I was in up to like 5 bands at that point.
Do you think that's? I have a genuine question, but like, do you think that's good for you? Like, I think it'd be great for you. You know what I mean? I think it'd be great.
I loved playing in that many bands. The problem was I couldn't find time for it.
Yeah.
That's what was really kind of like struggling about it, was like I was in an experimental like metal band with my buddy Jimmy. By the way, shout out to Jimmy Lewis from NFOE.
Yes. What does that abbreviation mean?
New Form of Entertainment.
That's fucking sick. Okay, go on.
Yeah. Shout out to Jimmy, by the way. I recently saw him play the Andy Warpigs Memorial, and we'll hang out soon, Jimmy, I promise. I'm just tied up with shit right now.
And Jimmy, if you see this, thank you. But go on.
Yeah, so I was playing in that band with my buddy Jimmy, and it was kind of like experimental metal is the best way I could put it. We were just getting up on a stage and just jamming. And that helped me a lot on the guitar playing angle because it's metal. Like, it's...
Metal's pretty intricate.
Yeah. That's the word
a little bit more intricate than punk.
Yeah, I was just like, I gotta do this shit now, I guess. Let's see what happens. So I was playing in that band. I was playing in like a skate punk / pop punk band called ATR, which means All That's Right, with Danny Wetzel, Mr. St. Cade, and this dude named Aaron Niles. And that was a really fun band to play into. It was like, skate punk, pop punk. I was playing in that for a while, and then me and my brother formed a joke band called Squeezy Jibs.
Squeezy Jibs?
Squeezy Jibs.
That shit is hot, bro.
It was supposed to be. So, like, because I was, like, really into, like, the idea of, like, funk punk at the time. I was just
Funk punk?
Funk punk. Have you not heard of
punk?
Funk punk. Is this new to you?
Can we talk about this off mic? I want you to go on with your fucking story. But
Okay,
I need to hear about funk.
Do you know what Playboy
Austin,
Man Baby
have
is?
you ever... Oh, is that funk punk?
I consider it
love-
funk punk.
Have you ever heard of funk punk, Austin?
Not the genre, like, referred to it like that, but I've heard Playboy Man Baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen Playboy Man Baby. I didn't know.
describe Playboy Man Baby as like funk punk.
Okay.
I see it.
Their bassist Chris has got them licks.
They remind me of like not to get off topic, but they remind me of like a new age The Vandals. You know what I mean?
They're probably one of my favorite bands from out here.
They're fantastic.
Not probably.
Dude, no.
They are my like one of my
they're
favorite
so
bands.
so
They're
good.
so
raves
great. They were the
about
first
them
local punk
constantly.
band I ever saw. They opened for Black Flag back in 2014, and it was the first time I'd ever seen like a punk band from
Yeah,
Arizona.
I saw them on. They used to do this fucking crazy ass thing on. I can't remember the name of it all of a sudden, but I did it twice, or I didn't do it, but I went to it twice, and there was this crazy ass thing in downtown Phoenix where they shut down a bunch of Phoenix and everything was a fucking venue. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
It's like
I don't know what it's called, but
Yeah,
I
I can't
remember
re-
that time period.
Yeah, I cannot remember for the life of me what it's called. I have pictures from it and whatever. But I saw Playboy Man Baby play there when I was fucked up on tequila, and I was like, this is the shit.
Oh, the first time I saw them play, I was like, dude.
They're so good.
I was like, whoa,
They are
these guys
so,
are so
good.
good.
I would love to. I'm not gonna say act like I'm familiar with all their members, but Homeboy who always puts out those fucking funny ass videos and shit like that.
Oh, Robbie.
Dude, I would love to have him on the show
Robbie's
sometime.
a sweetheart. I love Robbie.
Dude, he makes me laugh so hard, and not only that, he's extremely talented.
Oh yeah, he's super cool. Like, he was always really nice to me too. Whenever I would go see Playboy Man Baby, and I'm somebody who likes to talk to the bands too. Like, and he was always super welcoming. Like, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Blah 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 blah. How are things? Like, they're a super cool band.
So can you tell us a little bit about the fucking album that you're putting out? Or just put out, excuse me. I found
Yeah.
out yesterday that you guys put out an album. I was like, get the fuck out, dude. Like,
You and many others.
I was so stoked. I was like, get the fuck out of here, dude. I mean, I'm really stoked on shit like that right now. But
Yeah.
like when I heard
Oh, yeah.
you were putting or had just put something out, and like I didn't know about the live stream. I'm doing this, like all the social media is fucking weird. You have to
Yeah.
pay for it to be in your fucking feed now or in
Yeah.
people's feeds. It's stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So the most recent record we put out is called Heavy Splitter, and it's kind of just a weird transition period for us right now. So right off the bat, I'm always going to be playing punk rock music. Like, punk rock, not to sound corny as fuck, changed my life. Like, it was the music genre that made me, like, feel like I can do this. I can do this, and I feel like I can do this good. And so recently, with songwriting wise, like, I've been feeling like, you know, I feel like the punk rock thing's run its course a little bit. I want to try something new. And so I was like digging around different, you know, genres of music that I'd be into, and I found that I'm really into like 80s alternative rock. You know, like Husker Du and Dinosaur Jr. and fucking
Bless somebody.
Sorry, I couldn't mute in time.
Thought you were laughing at me. I was like, it's warranted.
No, not
it's
at all,
warranted.
bud.
But go on.
Like, yeah, Dinosaur Jr. and all that shit. And I was like, man, I would love to play like this kind of rough style of alternative rock. And then, you know, I was looking around more and more. I was like, let's see what we can do. And then I really got into early grunge music. So like proto grunge and early grunge. So like,
Can I, if you don't mind, because like I struggle with grunge personally, I feel like there's good grunge.
oh, there's good grunge and there's
Yeah,
bad grunge.
but like I just want to ask like what because me and you are, I don't know, I feel like me and you are pretty fucking similar. So like, what appeals to you through grunge? Like, what is something that sticks out to you? Like, is it guitar tones? Is it lyrics? Is it tone?
What I like about grunge, the guitar tone for sure with certain bands. Lyrics, I like that it's kind of like it feels like it's a venting thing to me with some artists. Like some artists, like this is the only way I can really vent my feelings, and I totally sympathize with that too. It's just like that's how I feel like the only way I can explain what's going on in my head sometimes. It's just through songwriting. And but yeah, guitar tone, lyrics, and just the overall just kind of presentation of it as far as early grunge goes. So I like bands like Mudhoney and fucking Nirvana, as much as repetitive as that sounds.
You know what's crazy about Nirvana is that I feel like the radio does not play their best songs. You know,
No. And don't get me wrong, I love Smells Like Teen Spirit. Not their best song though.
not at all. And
No.
I'm like I'm gonna call myself a very vague Nirvana fan.
I always said that I'm more of a Kurt Cobain fan than a Nirvana fan.
I feel that for sure. Elliot just showed me because I was like, I'm not the biggest Nirvana fan because I just always hear these.
Did he
like,
show you the good?
Oh yeah, and I was like, dude, this is fucking badass.
Yeah,
I was
stuff like
why
Bleed
is
and Territorial Pissings. My favorite is Bleach.
Bleach
Like,
is great.
Bleach is enough.
You leave it up to the radio though, and you're hearing nothing but Lithium and Smells Like Teen
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what you're fucking hearing. And that's what bothers me.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's-
mean? I'm like,
it's
what a great band that like
limited-
you're not even showing the greatness.
The limited exposure to like their best stuff. But I found I got back into grunge, and I was like, man, I like all these early grunge bands and these proto grunge bands like The Wires and fucking early Melvins or just the Melvins. Black Flag, like their later material where it was really drudgy and, you know, ugly sounding is the best way I can put it. Bands like Flipper too, that really just insane sounding, just form of punk rock ?
Something not the norm.
Oh yeah, Flipper trips me. I have a Flipper tattoo.
Hey.
Flipper trips me the fuck out. They were a huge influence on the record we just did as far as the last song goes.
I want to ask a little bit about the record too. So like, and I'm gonna be very, I guess like the words I'm gonna put out are like vague. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like when it comes to like substance and like message and an influence or whatever, is there anything that you really wanted to get across, or was there something that like really stood out to you in the album that was different, that was to you? I know that's like a huge range of questions, but
So to answer the first part of that, with like messages and stuff, I don't have messages like that to whoever's listening. It's just whatever I'm going through at the time. Like the title track Heavy Splitter is kind of about my dad passing away. You know, it was really like rough times for me. You know, my dad's not here anymore. And so I just wrote that song just out of the blue one day. I was jamming on guitar. I was like, I guess this one's for Pops.
Really?
And so, yeah, it just happened like that. And because I had written a song called Heavy Splitter years ago, but never did anything with it. And it was just a regular punk song. But I was like, I like the name. I like what I just wrote, so I'm just going to transition the name over to what I just wrote. But and then the name Heavy Splitter too perfectly described what it felt like losing my father. It's just the splitting feeling like in my heart and shit. But like as far as just lyrical wise, it was just whatever I'm upset about, whatever I'm angry about, whatever's, you know, getting my goose at the time. You know, what am I mad about? Mad about this, mad about that, mad about somebody who did this. Well, okay, let's write about it. What was the second part of your question?
I don't know, I was kind of all over it, but like I mean, just like I said, like, you know, the, you know, influence in certain songs and things like that. I love that you just said that, but
Like sonically and stuff, like the music itself.
yeah, I'm a little curious about like the, you know, the dynamic of the album. I mean, first of all, like it's really cool to just hear that, you know, when you talk about this song, there's a very, you know, I know you say it's not a message, but it fucking is. You know, a lot of people, and I've had some guests on here that we've talked off camera, but, you know, they lost their parents too this last year and
Yeah.
stuff. And I think that is a message, you know, about how you feel and how you can react to it in a positive manner or a negative manner. So I think that's important.
The way that I kind of handle, like, as far as putting my music out there, it's for anybody who wants to listen. But my thing is, I write music for, as fuck, you know, selfish as this sounds, I write music for myself. Like, I don't do this for anybody else but myself, really.
I don't think that's selfish at all. Like, I mean, the best art that you can do is stuff that you're going to enjoy. And, like, when you really put yourself out there, like, that's what people are going to, you know, respond to in a positive manner.
Well, I think too, you know, kind of riding off your coattails, Justin, but you know, when we were looking for music, we were looking for shit that made us feel okay. And I think it takes a lot of balls for you to, you know, write a song like that. And especially with what has happened this last year and everything, like, that's something a lot of people can fucking relate to.
Well, it was just this last year and stuff, like, and I posted on Instagram too. Like, I had a venting on Instagram about it. I was like, I just felt weird recording this record because it was just, and I say record, album.
Call it a record.
No,
Fuck it.
no
Fuck
vinyl.
it. We're calling it a record.
No vinyls available, sadly,
Not
for now.
yet.
And that, but it was just, I had this weird feeling the whole time recording it, and I couldn't really describe what it was, and I still can't. But it was just like, weirdly enough, getting all of it out. Finally, just getting it all out.
Of course.
Any anger I was holding on to, any sadness I was holding on to, especially with Andy passing away so recently before we recorded it too, that was hanging over me like a fucking really fucked up dark cloud. I just threw up all over this album pretty much.
I think it's gonna. I mean, I'll say, like, I got like a little sneak peek of it right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm really excited to listen to it thoroughly because
it's a little different than what we usually do. That was the scary part too. Is just we're experimenting with our sound right now too.
Well, that's great. I mean, I don't think there's a better or worse time to do it. But if you,
We had plenty of time.
yeah, well, you know, it's so crazy. But with everyone being stuck at home and doing these things the last year, I don't think a lot of people know how to process their emotions.
Yeah.
And I don't think, I don't know. It's maybe getting easier now, but the fact that you and, you know, the community has been through so much, you know, rather it be your father or Andy Warpigs, it's tough, dude. It's fucking tough.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. And this is one of those things to say, like, I'm coming out on top, or I'm doing what they wanted me to do, or I'm doing something that's going to better myself, and it makes me feel better. You know, I don't know.
I think
like,
the overall outcome of it was like I felt good that I like did this. I felt like, and even people were telling me it's like, you know, it's good that you experimented. It's good that you wrote all this and just put it out there. And like somebody was like telling me, it was like, that must feel really good. And I was like, you know what? It does.
I think it should too. You know, the fact that you are gonna, first of all, talk about uncomfortable situations with the passing of people, and then
because it's awkward. I don't know how to go about it most of the time. Even when my dad passed away, people were just like, "How are you feeling?" I was like, "Sad."
Yeah,
I don't know
of
what to
course.
tell you. Sad.
and to come out like and reflect whatever emotions that you're having at the time into your music, you know, and doing it like you're not following like this fucking, I don't know, everyone wants to stay in their genre, right? Like everyone wants to stay in their tone, like, oh, this is what we do. Like, not you, you know?
I just think I've grown out of that period as a musician. Honestly, it's like, and like I said earlier, it's like punk rock changed my life. I'm forever going to be playing punk rock music in some shape or form. But it was just time for me to experiment a little bit. I was getting kind of bored with writing the same song over and over again. I felt like musically.
Did you feel like you were there at one point in your, I don't know, like career or anything like that?
I like when it came to putting together Heavy Splitter, it was just like, okay, are we going to do the same record again, or should we switch it up a little bit? And like I felt like I really came out of my shell with my guitar playing a little bit too. I'm not Yngwie Malmsteen by all means, but I give it my all. I try to. And so it was just throwing more technical solos into it, and then writing stuff that was a little more complicated too. Like I felt like it really kind of made me more comfortable about writing different shit. And just like, and like, can I take a second too to appreciate, like, I appreciate everybody who gave me feedback on the record, by the way, all of us, like, who gave the band feedback on the record. Like, it was so refreshing and like assuring that everybody was like, dude, it sounded so good. It sounded like great, blah, 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 blah. And I'm not meaning to brag at all, by the way, but like people were like telling me, like, dude, it sounds really good. And I'm like, okay. I'm a little more comfortable with trying new shit now.
Well, that's good. You know, like,
Oh yeah,
there's nothing wrong with feeling
I'm super
that way.
thankful for everyone who came forward and was just like, it sounds really good. You guys did good. It's a great record. So,
What is, I gotta ask, because this is like a thing I love to ask, especially people like yourself. But when you look at the future, are there certain things you strive for? Like, you strive for like the next album? Do you strive for the next biggest stage? Do you strive for like breaking like through genres, or is there something like in your mind that like really is like a something you want to break through, or do you just go by it day by day? I mean, I just kind of want to know your mental is at looking at the future.
as far as just life in general goes,
Well, I mean, you know, I could go on and on with you about life. Like, I want to make $1 million, but
Yeah.
like, you know, what I want to do
That
with my
would be
craft.
nice.
Yeah, what I want to do with my craft, though, like that's very different.
just with the music in general.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, like you're an awesome songwriter, you're an awesome performer,
I appreciate
and like,
that. Thank you.
well, dude, you're fucking kick ass, and like you have been since I've met you. You know,
Yeah.
no one that I saw was, you know, had the energy that you fucking had. You had a fucking single 12 amp and would jump the fuck off it anytime you could, like, you know, and still
Trying
sounded
my
great.
best
Yeah,
not to break it, by the way.
exactly. But like you would do those things, so. You know, you go through all these different stages of writing that we've talked about today, and these different stages of music in your life, and the bands and the people involved in it. But is there, like, do you see an end goal, or is there something that you strive for? Like, me personally, like, I will, like, I'm not afraid to admit it, but I always strive for the bigger stage. And like,
I hope you get there someday.
of course, like, you know, I always strive for the bigger stage, but like, I want my people to be there. That's just it, you know what I mean? Like, I want my friends to be there and things like
yeah.
that, you know, and I want to be me. But is there something in your mind, like, do you want like a record to just be like everywhere, or like what is the dream for what you're doing now?
I guess it's just just keep putting out content, just keep writing about what pisses me off or what I'm sad about or like whatever. And like my main thing is like I do this because it's really healthy for me to do this. Like it helps me out with a lot of like mental shit. It helps me out just to like see people, talk to people, meet people. And my end goal with all of this is just I hope I'm doing this by the time I drop dead.
Do you think, you write about, or I mean,
Whether it's a big stage, small stage, 2 fans, 5,000 fans, it doesn't matter to me. I'll keep doing this.
Well, you're telling me that these songs come from, I think a lot of people can relate to, anger, aggression, sadness, depression.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're reaching the audience that feels like you? And if not, like, are you looking for ways to do it?
Look, I mean, like I said earlier, I only write music to, like, for myself. And again, that sounds selfish, even though people tell me it isn't. But if it's able to reach somebody else, that's cool. That's awesome. I'm no rock star at all. I'm Clay. If I'm ever playing a show, if I'm ever just hanging out outside of a venue, come talk to me. I'm nobody important like that. Like, I'm not gonna fucking brush you off if you want to come talk to me at a show. If I've had people come up to me and be like, dude, your music's so good, blah, blah, blah. Thank you. Do you want to like talk about it some more? What are you doing? Are you in a band? What's your band's Instagram, Facebook, whatever? Are you on Spotify? Like,
well, if I had to give one message to you, because I've known you for so fucking long now,
yeah,
is that, this message, I wouldn't even say it's a message, but the way that you're expressing your emotions and the way that you feel in such a constructive way, I think that's something that's going to spread. And you are so in touch with your young audience because you were this young audience,
Yeah,
I
came up in the scene when I was like 16, 17. I was a teenager.
Yeah. And I think that's going to go a long, long way with what you do. And it's going to start really influencing a lot of that age group the more that you play with them. And I think that's super
Honestly,
important.
Nothing would make me happier because like when I started playing in bands, like it was rough for me to get shows and shit. I owe this to Andy Warpigs as well. Andy taught me how to book shows and how to like promote shows with the scene that I was in and like how to go about being in a band and stuff, what to do, always show up ready to play and all this stuff. Don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to improvise. I learned that from both John and Andy because John's a great improviser as well.
Absolutely.
And I've seen Andy improvise sets so many times. And it comes out great. I've always not been afraid to improvise in the middle of a show. Just follow my lead, or if one of my band members wants to improvise, I'll follow your lead. Let's have fun.
Well, listen, man, we're going to end it here, but I want you to let you know that...
Hold on.
What?
Real quick.
I'm talking.
I understand you are. Real quick. I just want to make a point that we've gotten out there all the other projects that you've done and kind of promoted that. Can we take a quick second to throw out Reptile Lagoon and
Absolutely.
promote that?
Oh, yes, please do. Thank you, Justin.
Reptile Lagoon is a band I play in with my friend Bailey, Kylo Gunn, as she's known as.
Oh, she was in the Authority Zero music video. She's in Authority
She was.
Yeah, she was. I fucking love that song. We don't walk down these streets anymore.
I specifically watched that video because Bailey was
We
in
don't
it.
feel the same way we have beef. Shout out. What's up, yo?
Yeah, shout out to Kylo Gunn. That's another friend I'm thankful that I have. Yeah, so it's me playing bass, and then it's my brother playing drums, of course.
Fuck yeah.
My brother, it's just, hey, man, I got this new project. Okay. Want to play drums? Sure. And then it's Bailey currently right now on guitar and vocals. But so how that band started pretty much was Bailey was in a band called Not Confined for a while. And some like thing happened with their like members. They had members like switch up and stuff, and like they needed a bass player, and so she hit me up, and I was like, totally down. Where are we rehearsing? I'll learn these songs. So I rehearsed all the songs, played one show with them, and then they ended up disbanding. The reason for it, I'm not sure. But Bailey hit me up and was like, do you want to start a band or something? And I'm like, I'm totally fucking down. And here we are. Right now we're rehearsing a bunch of stuff. We're getting ready to record an EP here soon.
Pretty new.
Keep out for that. Instagram handle is, I think, reptile.lagoon, if I'm sure.
Nice. So, awesome, dude. Fucking
Yeah.
the way that you go about projects and the way that you humble yourself as well. Like, I just want you to know that watching you come from, especially like the underage crowd and things like that, and you know, you expressing yourself in such certain ways and sticking to this, to everything that you do, it goes so much farther than you think. And I think you don't realize it, but you are, if you aren't already, you're going to be this big influence on people that feel just like you. And I think it's a huge fucking deal. It's
It's not what I was striving for, but if that ends up happening, I'm all right with that.
I think it's already happening, man. You know, like, you've been in this scene for a while now.
A bit.
You know? And I think it's extremely important. The way that you write music, the way that, you know, you can't throw a brick through a window maybe, but you can definitely write songs like you fucking want to or already have. And I think that's extremely fucking important right now with how everyone is feeling. Rather you be young or old or whatever, you get to be part of this huge little age group, you know?
Yeah.
I'll be the first to admit, you know, I'm not playing a whole lot of all age shows right now.
Yeah.
And the fact that you
play a couple sometimes, they're fun, dude.
I want to. I'm totally fucking
You know
down.
what? I'm always booking all ages shows. I'll invite you over.
Me will
sometime.
definitely talk. You know, we will definitely talk. I'm sure Jeremy would love to do that with Squared. You know, Rundown's just hopping back on here soon.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. It's like, it's, you know, seeing these kids just get up and fucking get down with shit, dude. It's a lot of fun. And then what really warms my heart is I was one of those kids at that point who saw these bands fucking jam out, and it does bring you a lot of inspiration. Like, I love it when kids go to shows and they're just like, I want to do that. Let's do it. Do it, man. It's a lot of fun.
Dude, thank you for coming, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Let's drink of this real quick.
Yeah.
All right, man. What are the links? Where can we find you?
Where can you find me? Well, you can find me at xcladox on Instagram, but I would really appreciate it if you followed my bands and some of my friends as well. Can I drop those handles?
Please drop those handles. They're the most important.
So on Instagram at Simple Malfunction. I don't think Brian Cooper's Ghost is on Instagram, but we're on Facebook. Brian Cooper's Ghost on Facebook. Reptile.lagoon on Instagram, I think. Follow my buddies at some band in Phoenix, Okinawa Plane Crash. Some band from Phoenix, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a few of these.
Yeah, we'll make sure to put that in there somewhere.
Yeah. Follow at Disgust Inc. Band on Instagram. So disgust.inc.band on Instagram. They played the live stream with us. They were super dope. If you like hardcore punk, heavily recommend them.
We'll definitely put a link to that fucking hardcore show, like, because there's a recording of it, right? We'll figure out something how to do that.
We'll figure it out.
We'll put it in the description or something.
And then Minda Moonshine as well. My friend Emily, she played with us too, and she's very talented.
Dude, I fucking love you, brother.
Right.
Thank you for coming, dude.
Always, anytime.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to this week's episode of The Rundown with Silva. My name is Tyler Silva. This is my boy Clay over here. And we will see you guys later. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye, everybody.
Yeah, the rundown with Silva. Rundown with Silva. The run.